So Wizards of the Coast is making it harder for you to support your LGS. The WPN website recently released an update on the buy a box program and how it will be ending with Lorwyn Eclipsed. It's a really strange decision in general, especially one where it's something you only get out of LGSs. You can't get buy a box promos, as far as I'm aware, from Amazon or Walmart. So it is something that you only get from supporting your local game store, where you would go to play your 1v1 Magic, your multiplayer Magic, whatever it is. This is where they are disincentivizing some of the promos that you would want. Now, there's a storied history with this when it comes to the acquisition of these promos, how difficult it is, the value of these promos, and we're going to go over it in this video today. Let's talk about buy a box promos, the values of them, and the cards we've gotten out of them, and maybe why it is time to let go of them. Fireshoes tweeted out here, wow, buy a box promos are going away after Lorwyn Eclipsed. And this after I was pretty excited for Lorwyn Eclipsed. I put out my creator application for the event here in Toronto. By the way, if you're showing up to Toronto, I would love to meet you there. Whether or not I'm a creator on the event or not, I'm going to be attending. And we got a reveal of Vendilion Click full art textless being the promo for attending. So I'm pretty excited for that. I don't play Vendilion Click, but it's another Texas card. It's cool. And then this drops, the fact that we're not going to be getting buy a box promos after Lorwyn. And now this is kind of tangled in with the idea of potentially the Universes Beyond stuff and the amount of sets next year. I have some suspicions. And so we're going to go over it today. This specifically comes from this article right here, November 25th, Ask WPN and Lorwyn Eclipse updates for WPN. Specifically, in this point here, buy a box program ends with Lorwyn Eclipsed. For several years, the buy a box program provided promotional cards to support booster display sales during Magic the Gathering set launches at WPN retailers. This program evolved several times, once providing mechanically unique cards as well as expanding to include collector booster displays. Following careful review, this program will conclude with Lorwyn Eclipsed, the final set to provide a buy a box promo. We remain focused on investing in promotional programs and incentives that drive long-term growth and repeat play in stores. You will continue to see strong in-store support through initiatives that reward player engagement, spotlight new series releases, and help you activate your local audience through in-store experiences. We will continue also testing new event structures, support, and promotions to identify and expand your store's experiences. It seems like a whole lot of marketing techno wumbo jumbo, right? At the end of the day, of course, they're going to say that they're going to continue to try and engage with the player base. And there are things that they are doing. There are things that they are doing to incentivize you going to the LGS. I cannot be disingenuous in saying that. It just feels like for the vast majority of the time, it's actually incentivizing you from going there. And the buy a box promo situation was actually a good reason to buy boxes from your LGS, by the way. If you take a look at a simple Scryfall's verse, this is why Scryfall is amazing, by the way. The fact that you can go is buy a box, fantastic. Let's look through some of the fire examples that we have. Buy a box promo, Arcane Denial, Final Fantasy promo, fire. Force of Negation, fire, right? Soul Ring, okay. Solemn, fire. Okay, Flusterstorm. Let's keep going down this list here. We have stuff like, where is it? If we keep going down, sweet Satoru art, by the way. Lotus Bloom, Mana Confluence, Wrath of God, fire art, honestly. Kenrith, pretty sweet. Nexus of Fate, I remember this. If you keep going down here, Primal Amulet, great Magic card. Quite literally one of the most powerful lands in Magic's history, printed onto an enchantment in Growing Rights. Sorcerer Scanta, personal favorite Magic card of mine, one of my favorites at least. If we keep going down back in the history, maybe some of y'all might remember some of this stuff. Goblin Rabblemaster, I actually have this buy a box promo personally. Nightfield Spectre as well. Supreme Verdict, fire art. By the way, Cathedral of War, amazing land that gives you Exalted, by the way, great commander card. Keep going down. Surgical Extraction, this was at a time where this card was expensive, by the way, as far as I remember. You know, I owned one of these at some point before I sold my mill deck for some finances and then eventually like rebought all of it, but I owned it. Boards of Paradise, Day of Judgment, Celestial Colonnade, like there's so many fire buy a box promos, but you'll notice I skipped over a bunch of them because yes, a lot of times buy a box promos aren't necessarily valuable Magic cards. They aren't meant to be that way, although they could, because buy a box promos came at a limited supply. You didn't get them always, and especially when it came to cards like the Flusterstorm and stuff like that, the Nexus of Fate, stores would run out of them, right? That was the thing that would happen. But that's a Wizard's decision to not print more of them, right? They didn't want to overprint them, even though they could, right? I don't want to acknowledge the secondary market or whatever. That's me as Wizards of the Coast. But you could print powerful cards in them, right? Again, I always use the Mox Opal example of printing Mox Opal in a standard, but like we literally did textless like Urza Saga promos, right? Like that was a thing. That was not a blip, all right? Like that was a real thing that happened. Store championships, you could play for textless full art Urza Sagas that are worth thousands of dollars right now, by the way. At the time, maybe like 500, couple $100, thousands of dollars right now, by the way. Beautiful Magic card, chef's kiss of a Magic card. We could do that with Store Championships cards, but now we're printing Laughing Jasper Flint. And again, Force Negations, like useful cards like Arcane Denials. Like there are good cards that we could print as promos. Wizards of the Coast is like gaslighting you, right? Like these cards could be better. Saying that they weren't that great is actually a Wizards of the Coast choice. They could have been better. They could be better, but they chose not to make them better always. So why even bother? I guess is what Wizards' decision is ultimately. They're not drawing people in. We give people a limited supply by choice because we could print more, right? But there are useful cards every so often. There are cards in the set. There are chase cards. Some of them have really, really cool art. Shout out to them. Some of them have fantastic reworks of art. Really love this Solemn. Soul Ring's pretty standard. The Flusterstorm, old bordered, amazing. The Lorien Brooch is like really cool. Like again, a lot of really cool, beautiful new art from Magic cards that are actively played. Really powerful Magic cards in certain cases. Why don't we continue to make them? It doesn't cost Wizards too much more. Maybe the cost isn't worth it. Printing an individual card, choosing what card it is, putting it in a plastic, attaching it to that. Maybe if you made it to chase, the LGSs would steal them and everything. Like you just wouldn't go to support those LGSs. You know what I mean? If all of a sudden you go to the LGS like, we don't have buy a box promos, I'm not buying a box from you then. I'm gonna go to the other store where, because Wizards of the Coast gave those stores a bunch, I'm gonna go buy a box from them because those stores aren't gonna be disingenuous. Like there are good stores here, especially in Toronto. There are plenty of examples of bad stores, you know, stores that will mark the living crap out of prices, right? I'm thinking about the 802 games and the mouth to mouth games of Toronto that may be selling cards at markups that no one wants to deal with, but they have the supplies, you know? But then you got the smaller LGSs that are willing to actually, some of them willing to actually sell cards at MSRP, product at MSRP. You just go support those stores, right? Go actually vote with your dollar. We could be doing that. Let those other stores that have these products, let their supply die in their supplies. Let them go out of business. Let the greed die with the greed. But no, we're just gonna gaslight the player base. We're gonna underprint the promos. We're gonna make the promos bad. And we're just not gonna bother with them. We're gonna take it away and then convince everyone that, oh my God, it wasn't even worth it anyway. All right. You can choose. It doesn't cost. The difference between printing Urza Saga and printing Karsi Revenant, it doesn't cost you more. It doesn't cost, it's a card. It's a colored card on a piece of cardboard. It doesn't cost you more. It doesn't cost more on the printer. It's just indirect acknowledgement of the secondary market. Okay, just saying. So why are we doing this, right? Literally what I just outlined. It is that indirect acknowledgement of the secondary market. We are just gaslighting people. We are cost cutting to a measure, and we are removing a bit of incentive, right? And we've already done this to a certain degree. By and large, we've done this by, you know, the mass promotions. We see a product on Amazon and on Walmart away from the LGSs, the whole secret layer model, just selling product directly to consumers away from the LGS. Although that did get fixed a little bit with the fact that certain secret layers, I don't believe all of them, but certain secret layers do go to LGSs to be able to be purchased around a second buy. And that's great. That's a great piece of support for LGS. And I do want to shout that out. But yes, by and large, the secret layer model is a net negative to the LGS, but there are examples of certain secret layers, the Sonic one in particular, where you can then get copies of them from the LGS, like a certain limited amount of copies are sent to the LGS for you to purchase. Great, That's fantastic. Shout out to that. Also, recently, we had another incentive for going to the LGS from the MTG Arena team, where if you played and won a game of in-person Magic, I believe it was, you would go up like 3 wins on your arena rank. Absolute slap in the face, by the way. The idea, fantastic, right? Like, we're thinking about almost approaching levels of like Pokemon at that point, right? When it comes to like packs and how you can like translate them on like PTCG and all that stuff, right? PTCG Live. But when it comes to like in-person promos and like getting people to play Magic and translating that online, we're so close. The incentive was almost there. Like, I wish it would just be a pack or like gold or something. Like, wins are useless, right? Like, why couldn't it have just been a wild card? Like, if I win, if I get 2-1 or something, I get handed out a special promo and I get a gold wild card or something, right? Like, why don't I translate that into my ability to actually play cards? I mean, you know why? Because it's an indirect acknowledgement of the secondary market, and we don't want to be giving out gold wild cards. We don't want to be giving out actual promos to people, but like actual useful things to people. Who the hell cares about 3 wins? Who cares about that, right? Like, new players care about that. Like, the vast majority of people that probably won't even bother. They won't even be able to use those. They'll get 3 wins and lose them immediately with their jank brood because they don't have the rare wild cards and mythic wild cards to go build the decks they need. Do I care about that? No, I don't care about that. I got my mono red deck in Pioneer. That still wins, by the way, because I just replaced Mouse with that damn lizard that when it attacks, it deals 1 damage. It honestly still wins a fair amount of the time. I could go play some Timeless, go play some best of 1, some best of 3 Timeless. I could go play other decks in Pioneer. I could go play some Standard. I just built Simic aggro in Standard. Like, I can get wins in Standard because I'm enfranchised, right? I am someone who would actually benefit from 3 wins because it saves me like half an hour to like 45 minutes of like grinding something, right? Like, getting those 3 wins and then just getting to mythic. That's fantastic. But the average Magic player or like the low end Magic player on Arena, like, it doesn't matter to them. Like, they're not going to be Arena grinding anyway. You know, they're going to be grinding mythic, and it's like a big achievement to them. Even though at this point we realize that grinding mythic is honestly just like a paywall and just a time sink. Like, it's not even a skill thing. The way the ladder works and incentivizes you, it's not even a skill thing. You just have to have time. A 51% win rate gets you to mythic. It doesn't even matter. The real skill is getting like top 250 mythic, top 200, top 10, whatever. Like, that's the real skill. Like, once you enter mythic, it becomes a whole new world of actually playing the game, right? So like, why do the wins even matter? Once you get to mythic, it doesn't really matter, because once you get to, I believe it's top 250, you qualify for the arena champion. Like, that's where it would matter, right? So forget the wins. We could have just incentivized direct rewards in gold or like gold wildcards. Again, I went over on this point because I absolutely hate it, but an example that's good, an idea of how we've incentivized store play and how we can translate into digital play, but implemented terribly. And again, with the secret lair thing, limited supply. Why are we still on this limited supply garbage, right? We're just now fixing the whole Monster Hunter thing because we implemented wrong. We chose terrible cards. We had spelling mistakes, all that stuff. We are disincentivizing people coming to the LGS, and we're doing it in the wildest ways. In my opinion, we're gaslighting Magic players. Why are we doing all this? Why are we doing all this? Because of the probable increase in the amount of sets being printed next year. We don't have the focus for it. We have plenty of QA issues. We need to let go of this. One last card we got to design for. Let's design for more secret layers. Let's forget about alt. Let's forget about commissioning an artist, because we're cool with AI artists now, right? In IPs that have plenty of art, by the way. Plenty of art, by the way. Whole shows and fandoms. Let's not get an artist without any AI involvement. We're cool with AI art. And then we're going to just, slap on some promos, mistakenly spell them, have design issues. Let's forget about that. More secret layers. Forget the buy a box promo that incentivizes people purchasing from the LGS. I don't know. Look, there are good things Wizards of the Coast is doing. There are. I have to admit that. There are also a lot of bad things that they're doing. Why are we getting rid of this? Cost-cutting measure, because number goes up for the shareholders, I guess.